Good evening. Welcome to Latino Talk TV. I'm your host, Jose Luis Jimenez.
And I'm Ben Mendez.
So tonight we're going to discuss something that's really important here for the community. It's actually going to be volunteering. We're going to showcase some efforts that are going on here in the East End, here in Houston, Texas, and some of the great things that are going on in the Latino community that, sometimes actually we know that aren't getting showcased. So we're going to definitely chime in to see how we're helping the community, helping the kids especially, and changing lives for the better, because I believe team sports, especially at the youth age, are really important. But before we get into that, Ben, what's going on out there in the community?
I don't know if you saw football on Thanksgiving Day, but I saw the Texans win a game. How about you?
Hey, Texans won again. It was a little nerve-wracking there. Man.
Well, 10-1. This is the best that they've done, and I'm very excited. I think we're going to go to the Super Bowl.
I think so too. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed and knock on some wood too. But that game was really intense, and hopefully we just keep that momentum going and just take it all the way.
Well, this is the second time that we go into overtime in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's not good. Actually, less than a week, because the game was on Sunday and then on Thursday. So 2 times overtime to what I call teams that are not up to par. We didn't look good initially.
Hey, but we won. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how good you look. It's about who actually won the game.
That's
and
correct.
Talking about winning the game, now they're going to try to change the rules after that controversial, touchdown. What do you think about that thing?
Well, when I first saw it, I thought it was a giveaway. They pretty much gave us a touchdown. Could we have won regardless? I don't know.
Well, the point is we won, and that's all that matters, right?
It's in the record book.
So, hey, we're done. So next week, I think they're going to finally rest. Is that right? Or are they playing next week?
I think they're playing Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken.
You're playing Tennessee? That's going to be a good game. Let's see, who you're going to root for. Tennessee? They are the Houston Oilers once. There's people still trying to jump on that Tennessee bandwagon, but I'm Houston all the way.
And for all the Dallas Cowboy fans, now is your time to jump ship. You can be a Texan fan.
If you're watching this from Dallas, I'm sorry. You can join us at any time. No matter how big your TV is in your stadium, we're still a better team. So that's all I have to say about that.
Well, let's go on to the next topic. I heard there was a big pileup on I-10 East. There was 142 cars that were as a result of the crash that was caused by fog, by the way. As a result of that, 2 people died from Pearland.
That's right. It's a really sad situation. How are you supposed to act during a foggy situation like that? Because sometimes, I've taken some long road trips, and in the middle of the night, especially on that road, it can be really, really bad. What are some of the tips that you might have for people driving in that?
Well, obviously, you're going to have to slow down during those conditions. But I tell you, I felt sorry for everybody that was stuck in traffic, because they spent 8 hours. Traffic was at a standstill for 8 hours on I-10 on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, there was a terrible situation.
Yeah.
There's people all over the place, they're injured, and they couldn't get any cars. It was just really bad. But one of the things that can be done is make sure that when they're in a situation like that, is one, like you said, slow down. Number 2, put those hazard lights on. It makes people actually start paying attention and start slowing down even more, and put some more space in between each other. That alone can help save a lot of people's lives.
Well, let me tell you, there was an accident on both sides, actually. So both lanes going both ways were tied up. So there was no movement whatsoever in I-10.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is, luckily more people, didn't lose their lives. It's a tragedy that that family, that couple passed away. I understand they're going to go gambling. The family told some stories about what they were doing, and this was their first getaway by themselves, and it's just unfortunate all this happened. So my condolences to the family. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. So what else is going on out there?
Well, as you know, the Senate race keeps getting more interesting. For the viewers out there, Senator Mario Gallegos passed away, and we have it's going to be a so-called special election. But it hasn't been called yet, because the governor has not said what day specifically. But we're going to have probably 5 or 6 candidates that are running for that seat.
Well, it's then Commissioner Garcia, Sylvia Garcia, now candidate Garcia. She sent a letter.
Kara Alvarado.
No, I'm talking about Sylvia Garcia.
Sylvia Garcia and Kara Alvarado.
Right, but I'm saying Sylvia Garcia sent a letter to the governor saying, hurry up and get your job done. Set a date, let's get this going. I don't know if you saw that
That's
notice.
correct. And obviously, it's to her advantage if the election is sooner.
Well, I think it's an advantage for both people, because the faster we get this thing going, the faster we have a representative inside the Senate.
I disagree with you.
Why would you say that?
It is to the advantage of Commissioner Garcia that we have an earlier election, because she's more well known throughout the district. Carol is very well known in her district, But you go to Galena Park, San Jac, North Side, West Side, they do not know Carol because she's never represented them. They might know her here and there, but overall, Sylvia Garcia has a higher name recognition. Now, if the election is in May, then I will say that I guess what the word is I'm looking for, the
Positioning, preparation,
name ID.
name ID.
Name ID is what I'm looking for. Now, if the name ID that Sylvia has will go away if the election is in May.
Okay. What I don't like is the fact that we're going to have people without representation in the Senate. And I don't think that's fair to the people. And we should be here for the people, not just the candidates. Just because you have name recognition or not should not be a reason why we should delay even more the election. We need to have people in there to represent the people.
No, I agree. The sooner the election, the better for all of us.
Okay, so then you're saying what I said.
No. I'm saying that Sylvia has an advantage if there is an earlier election.
Well, Commissioner Garcia has an advantage
That's
all over
correct.
the county because she was a commissioner.
That's correct.
And also
That's correct.
Carol Alvarado
But-
has an advantage because she was mayor pro tem.
But as far as me personally, I think we should have a representative in the Senate as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
Because the session starts in January. And we have zero representation in Senate District 6.
And the only people benefiting from that is not the people that live in Senate District 6. It's the people who are in control right now in the Senate.
Now, the governor doesn't really have to move forward on this quickly because he sees no need for it.
Yeah,
There's no advantage for the Republicans to hurry up and have this election.
Well, the people are the ones that are hurting, so it should be the people who step up and voice their concern to the fact that they don't have any representation. They elected Senator Gallegos for his final term. Unfortunately, he passed away. My condolences. A great man, but now it's time to move on and get representation once again in the Senate.
And the session, by the way, is from January to May. So let's just say the special election is in March. Now, they probably will not take office probably until May because there's going to have to be a special runoff election as well. So you're going to have the regular special election and then the runoff special election.
So what are you pushing for? An election in May or an election in December?
The sooner the better for District 6.
Okay, so as soon as possible.
As soon as possible.
So Governor Perry, if you're out there, please hurry up and get it done. We don't have time to wait. Just get it over with. We need representation for Senate District 6.
Correct.
What else is going on out there?
That's it.
That's it?
That's it. Well, I'm ready to interview the Little Leagues. How about you?
All right. So if you're watching out there, please join us. We want you to call in and give us your experiences in a little bit once we come back from our break about how you make an impact in your community by helping Little League teams and what they can do to better the children that are out there. So you're watching Latino Talk TV. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching Latino Talk TV, and we're glad you're joining us. We're here live in Houston Media Source in the east end of Houston, Texas. Now what we're going to do is we're going to let our guests introduce themselves because we can't do justice of what they do. So, Joaquin, introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Joaquin Martinez. I'm actually the vice president of Dixie Little League. I've been coaching there for going 3 years. Prior to that, I was a coach at East End for about 3 years. Now, brought my son as well, who going on our 4th year. He'll be playing in pitching machine this year at Dixie Little League.
All right. So, Joaquin Jr., right? Awesome. How old are you?
6.
6 years old. Man, I wish I was that brave when I was 6 years old. You brave. Well, thanks for joining us, and sir.
My name is Arturo Salas. I represent Magnolia National Little League.
All right, so Arturo, let's start with you. Tell us about Magnolia, the Little League, and what y'all do, and how the community can help out, and what your goals are.
Right now, we play out of Hidalgo Park, which is on Avenue Q, right there off of Harrisburg and Navigation, Wayside and Navigation. And right now we just finished fall ball. We do fall ball with Dixie and East End and OFA and South Houston. And right now we're getting ready to start our league, which starts like in February or March, where we basically start registering and everything else, and we do interleague with all the other leagues also.
So how many players do y'all have? How many teams do y'all have in your league?
Last year we had 15 teams,
15
and that's from
teams.
T-ball all the way to boys, juniors, and seniors. And that's boys and girls. We do baseball and we do softball.
So how long has the league been around?
This is our 53 or 54 years. Yeah. We've been there that long. Yeah, I've been actually
That's
there
a long
for.
time.
You've been there all 53 years?
No, I've been there for 12 years. Yeah, I've been there for 12 years. My dad's been there for over 25 years.
Wow.
So it's a family
my dad's
tradition,
still there.
huh?
Yeah, my dad's still there. Yeah.
Okay.
So we do it just for the community. We don't have any kids there. My dad, all my nephews, and all my brothers, they grew up already. So we're still there for the kids. So we need a lot of help over there. We're losing a lot of kids because of it's Magnolia. I mean most of the families are low income. So we try to get as many sponsors as we can now, as many fundraisers, as many people that can help us so that we don't lose kids. We have a lot of single parents that are there. We got a lot of a lot of our kids we got maybe out of 100 kids. We got maybe 20, 25 that are living with their grandparents. We're just living with the mom or dad. So, we actually do need a lot of help as far as getting sponsors for these kids to keep them off the streets and to play baseball.
Wow. Okay. And Joaquin, tell us about your league.
Dixie Little League's been around. This coming year will be 63 years. Started off in 1950, and during fall ball, we more or less we serve about 150 kids. During the spring ball, which is a regular season, it's about 350 kids. So we double the size. And for us as well, I think it's well known that Dixie it is a family tradition. I actually coached at East End for about 3 years with a fraternity brother of mine. And I played Little League at East End from 5 years old up to about 15. My dad coached there for about, I would say close to about 15 years. So it's something that, when it comes to kind of bringing some kind of community service, some kind of, having that community come out in the neighborhood, it's definitely something that I know personally and through family and friends that it's something that we look forward to in our neighborhood. So.
Little Joaquin, why don't you tell us about you playing baseball? What do you like about playing baseball? Don't be shy. What do you like about it?
Hitting, running.
Running.
You like running? So how long have you been playing baseball?
When I was 3 years old.
Okay, so you've been playing for 3 years now. That's
Half
good.
his life.
Yes.
That's good.
Can you believe that?
Well, I know your dad is a big-time baseball player. I'm sure you're going to be big-time as well. What position do you play?
First.
First base.
Pitcher.
Okay, great. So I'm assuming it's T-ball or is it regular baseball?
It's T-ball actually
T-ball,
for
okay.
5 and 6 year olds. Actually, they've gone down from when I was playing to 4, 5, and 6 year olds. And fall ball for them is 3 years old, which is really good. And I think I know you know this is that some extracurricular activities like this. It's really important. It builds that self-confidence. It allows individuals that might not know what success really is, in a team level, be able to appreciate that. Building that confidence back into the school. Again, I played Little League ball since I was real young, and a lot of role models adult role models that brought a positive aspect of, you know, how to play the game, but also kind of attached it to life as well. You know, sometimes you lose a game, but then the next game is up and you got to get ready. And I know there's been research done as well where, you know, here in the United States where these kind of sports little league teams have actually helped build some of this, you know, what we're going through now is kind of like, you know, the economic recession and stuff. People that strive better want to do better for the community. They achieve better. They want to start businesses. They want to see what kinds of things. And I think to be able to associate that with our little league and what we've been trying to do and what's been done over the last, you know, 60 plus years in the East End, because East End Little League's been around for a while as well, is really giving our kids an opportunity to kind of just jump into that arena as well as business owners and as business leaders and political leaders and that such. So it's important. I really think, again, you know, I think on our end, you know, sometimes we don't go out and ask for some of these donations or donors as much as we should. But I really see how businesses around the community can benefit as well from kids not just being, you know, running around in the neighborhood and actually participating in something productive and structured as well, which is something that's needed, you know, has been, you know, while growing up.
So for y'all's league, what is, you know, if we can get into the you know, the details. What does it take to run a league like this? What's the cost on a yearly basis?
It takes a lot of hours of volunteering. You're talking about almost 7 days a week, because now we have to maintain our fields. You know, we got to clean the restrooms. We got to, you know, we got to cut the grass. We got to basically grow our own grass. You know, we got to buy our own dirt. We got to line up the fields every week. We got to make sure they're safe. You know, because we have to do a safety plan before the season and during the season. So we have to maintain our fields. That's the first thing that we got to do. And also recruiting, getting kids, and also, you know, the uniforms. We got uniforms. We have umpires. We have, you know, even just stuff for the restrooms, you know, toilet paper, the chalk, you know, we need water hoses, we need, you know, rakes. Last year we were able to get a lawnmower. We have to buy our own lawnmowers. We got to do basically everything that the city just, we use our park, we have an adopt a field. So we adopt the field and basically we got to take care of everything else. So right now, the more money that we can get as far as donations and everything else, the more kids can play, because we are losing a lot of kids. You know, we went from 300 kids to maybe less than 200, and I know Dixie, they went from almost 500 to 300 because, you know, the most of the kids can't afford it or whatever. So we're trying to get the prices as low as we can, and the only way to do that is to get more people to help us sponsor.
So what is the amount per season that you have to strive for? Like, what's the goal? Is it 5,000, 10, 50, 100,000? What's the number?
I think for us, well, we've kind of, and this is my first year on the board and kind of, you know, getting our feet wet with everything. Roughly, what we've been kind of calculating is somewhere between 15 to 20,000, and that includes, again, you know, you look at uniforms, which can run about 3,000 to 4,000 depending on how many kids you have. Then you look at, of course, umpires, concession, keeping up concession. You look at field maintenance, which is really important. Again, as Arturo had mentioned. We are part of Adopt a Sports Field in partnership with the City of Houston. So what basically happens is that they come in and we sign this agreement, and throughout those 4 to 5 month period, what we do is we basically maintain the field, and that's again from the not just the field but the bleachers right around there, any trash that happens, and these are public parks, so other people get to use these fields whenever we're not utilizing them. Mm-hmm. So again, the manpower behind keeping those cleaned up, and then other people using them as well, whether it's a family that goes out, again, public park, but still trying to maintain some of those amenities as far as what a real baseball field should look like. Right. And so
okay, we have a caller on the line. We're gonna go to the phones right now. Joseph, you're live on the air. Do you have a question?
Yes, I do.
How can we help you?
I'd like to know what kind of successes from this. We keep these two gentlemen, the successes of individuals that have come back and said things positive that these kids can look up to, and as well as mentoring others' children in this Little League program that you have.
Very good question.
I could answer that.
That you have can answer that.
Okay.
Right. I could answer that. Like Joaquin, he was a player. Now he's a coach and a father. We have the coaches from Milby who do clinics for us, and they were all the coaches and actually all the players from Milby and even Galena Park and North Shore, they all came out from either Magnolia or Dixie, and they went off to play college ball. They went off, from high school, they played off college ball, and they still kind of help us out around. We have a whole bunch of kids that we know that if it wasn't for baseball, they wouldn't have graduated. They wouldn't have stayed in school because, now with the no pass, no play, in order to play baseball, you have to stay in school. You have to have good grades. Some of my nephews right now, they're playing, there's twins, they're playing for Dobie, they're playing for North Shore, and they came out of Magnolia. Just like Joaquin, he came out of, out of East End, played at Austin, and now he's coming back. So we still have, and that's what we need. There's a lot of people that were very successful that came out of Magnolia, Dixie, East End, South Houston, OFA, and we need those people to come back and help us out because, we're still there and we're really struggling.
Well, one thing that I found as a coach, because I taught at East End, or coached at East End, is that not only does it help the students that are engaged as far as the players, it helps the parents as well.
Right.
Because many of them are not involved in their community, and this is one way that they can get involved.
Yes.
Great question, Joseph. Appreciate the call.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Now, I have a question for you. Now, your league, you said, was in Magnolia off of Avenue N?
Avenue Q.
Okay, and yours is
It's at Ingrando Park, which is off of Keller in that area.
by Broadway and Woodridge, more or less,
Right.
in
Right.
between there.
Right.
Okay. Now, in looking at the different fields, I know your field is a lot smaller than
Right.
their field. But I know you guys have maximized your space. I mean, there's nowhere else to grow. So is there an opportunity to build like a superplex, if you will, in the East End where all these leagues come together and maybe you have like 16 fields altogether?
Yeah, I mean, I know they had talked about it before,
That'd be
when with I think the Dynamos or whatever, or somebody had talked about shutting down, I think Gus Wortham Park and doing that, but I think that didn't happen. But right now, we don't really get enough help from anybody to fix our fields. Basically, we got to do our own. Even like this weekend, we're out there cutting the grass and everything because we got to take care of our fields now. In December, January, February, so that we can have them ready for next year. So yeah, if anybody, I mean, if we had somewhere better than to play, I mean, that would be great.
Okay. The beautiful thing about the East End is that what I love about the East End, there's two extremes, good and bad. On the positive side, the Port of Houston is growing tremendously. There's so much business and industry that a lot of these companies are being blessed to post large amounts of profits. So they're going to have to figure out a way to donate as much as they can to have as many write-offs as possible.
Right.
So for those companies, really it boils down to some of the things that are in the history books. I don't know if you know about the history of Set Jobs and the real history of that. It was actually the Latino Spanish-speaking community couldn't get jobs, and on the other side of the port, they had a massive shortage of labor, but they didn't know how to recruit the Spanish speakers. So that's where Sarah Jobs came in and created that bridge to connect the Spanish speakers and educate them enough to be able to go work at the port. What I'm seeing now is another opportunity for those businesses to be able to support the local community. We're just figuring out a way to connect with them, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think, I've always been a big fan of conversation. Conversation, as soon as that happens, barriers get broken down. One thing, and going back to what Ben was saying, I think one thing that we really do see within the inner loop is a lack of green space. So it's difficult to try and add on more fields or try and, and more that I've been thinking about it, the city of Houston, they have a lot of parks that are going, up and down, the loop, and are they being used to capacity, and I know there's several programs that are going on, and whenever you have little leagues like Magnolia and East End and Dixie and OFA that are really volunteer driven, I think you get a better result definitely, and I just see that opportunity for a conversation with the city of Houston. Some of their different programs that they have, that they still request volunteers. Having a conversation with some of these little leagues, whether it's football or baseball, which are more well known in the East End, and seeing how we can actually provide this support, that the little leagues are needing in order to kind of accomplish their goal as well, which is really keep the kids engaged. But having people that are volunteering already and that are engaged and kind of using their skills and their passion to continue some of these traditions again, like some of these leagues have been around for over 50 plus years.
You guys want to say?
No, go ahead.
I was going to say a lot of it has to do also with like I was telling you, a lot of these international companies that are here in Houston, they have to give away money.
Right.
They're going to have to do it. It really boils down to is who's going to be in line first.
Right.
You know, and learning how to stand in line in the right way, because there has to be some, you know, it's business. There has to be a return on investment. And I think the programs that you guys do are just that. You're keeping kids off the streets. You're helping improve their self-esteem, their morale. You're teaching them and showing them that there's better things in life than just running around the streets.
Right.
I mean, what kind of impact did you have growing up in the system? Did you see different types of role models?
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, growing up in the East End, you know, I had friends that actually were running around, you know, and they were running around with me on the baseball field. But then, once that was done, you know, they weren't as engaged with other activities, and so, of course, there were some differences that happened. But, you know, it's a huge benefit for kids to be involved. It's a huge benefit for parents to be involved, and have somebody else at the table having these conversations, and not just the businesses and not just these political leaders, but having community members actually having conversation and being involved in this in the system that we've kind of created with you know, within our city, and really focusing to the foundation of which is our kids and what are they learning, and you know, what kind of investment are we putting in them so they can invest back into their community.
Okay, we got another call on the line. Hi, caller, you got another question? Is this Joseph?
Yes, this is Joseph again, and I understand that the need of money is dire, but my question is safety.
Mm-hmm.
When children get together, they get hurt, just like human adults do. How is that handled in these two parties? That's my question.
You know what? That brings up another question before you answer that. How are the coaches selected? Because a lot of the safety, really the problems that we have can be prevented if we have proper coaching. So either one of y'all.
Well, for us, there is a background check, and it's done, you know, which is, you know, working with any children, bottom line, you just need to do that. As far as preparation, a lot of the things that the league has done in the past, you know, when I've been a coach, is baseball clinics, and you get invited to these different clinics in order to really learn the fundamentals. And some of the things, you know, through my work experience as far as working with youth, there is a way of having conversations as well, and so there is a need to, you know, help the parents that are volunteers that are just coming out just to, you know, help to work along, to really kind of prep them. We've had conversations just recently, getting ready for spring baseball, as far as, you know, what can we do to really, you know, have the kids, parents that are coaches, working with 5 and 6 year olds, which is a really difficult thing. Having a 5 and 6 year old and coaching a 5 and 6 year old team, 4, 5 and 6 year old team, you know, as far as redirecting and, you know, some of these other kinds of, you know, training that they really do need, that are actually beneficial on a personal level as a parent. And so those are some of the conversations we're having now in regards to kind of how to work with kids all together. In regards to training baseball wise and technique, you know, we open that up as much as possible. I know at Dixie, Milby has been a great partner as far as their coaches and some of the students coming out to provide some of these coaching clinics for the parents that are coming out. In the past, I know I went to U of H baseball training with Easton, which is always helpful. You know, to make sure that, you know, we're teaching the right techniques as well. So
Awesome.
Yeah. Basically, before the season, basically the main thing for the safety is preparing our fields. So we prepare them before the season, and before every game, we have to check the fields. Actually, before the game, the two coaches get together, the umpires, and we go over not just the baseball rules, but the safety rules. You know, if somebody gets hurt, what to do. You know, basically our rule is, you know, not just to have ISIP, but we always have, you know, we always contact, like, you know, Victor Trevino's office in case something happens, or we have fire departments that are there in the neighborhood. So we always have somebody there, first aid kits and stuff, somebody there that if something ever happens, you know, we're going to call 911 automatically if it's something really bad. You know, if not basic stuff, we do go through, you know, basic training as far as, you know, for simple first aid kits if somebody gets hurt, you know, putting ice. But anything that's major, I mean, we do call 911. And luckily, like last year, I know between us and Dixie in some leagues, we didn't have any incidents as far as, you know, any major, you know, incidents, any broken foot. I mean, you know, we have little bruises or, you know, somebody ran and you know, little ankle, whatever, that you can put ice in, and that was it. We were lucky that we didn't have any major issues last year or the year before.
So you don't have any parents?
How affordable is for parents? How affordable is this program? Programs.
It actually depends. You know, again, growing up in the neighborhood,
Pre-registration, registration. What are we
that-
looking at?
we're looking at probably between 60 pre-registration, 70 registration, and then late registration goes up another. And we try and encourage, of course, pre-registration, because once we know the count, then we can actually start that budgeting as far as what we've money we're taking in, and then as far as uniforms, trophies, and stuff of that sort.
So best case scenario, like $60 best case early registration. How many students per team?
I would say per team is roughly
Between about 12 players
Yeah.
per team.
About 12. So we're looking at about.
So we registered. When we register, we're part of Little League. So we have to pay Little League because that's part of our insurance.
Okay.
So we basically have to pay our charter, which includes our insurance and stuff like that. So basically, it takes between $400 to $600 per team. You know, to
That's
get
it?
a whole, yeah. It's not that much. You know, but
Okay,
it's hard for some parents when you have 2-3 kids and it's a single parent
Okay.
You know,
about
and-
400
or
to
a
600
grandmother.
per team.
per team. Yes, as far as uniforms.
Uniforms, and that's pretty much sponsors the entire team.
Right.
Right, as far as uniforms, and then insurance comes out to maybe about another. I think for the whole team it comes out to maybe $60-70 per team.
Okay.
But when you're talking about 15 and then they got about 20 something teams, that's something that the league has to pay. So in the beginning, we're bay off between $2,000 to $5,000 just for insurance and stuff like that.
So for y'all, worst case scenario, we're looking at about maybe worst case $800 per team, all
that
inclusive.
includes insurance,
Uniforms, everything.
Right. But that doesn't include like umpires per game. So during the season, we have to either do fundraisers or we have to open up concession stands because we have to pay umpires. And you're talking about almost from $100 to $200 a night.
Wow.
For
Okay.
umpires,
So probably like about $1,000 per team is what
basically. Yeah.
at the end of the day, huh? Thanks, Joseph.
Outstanding. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Now, how do you all decide which students go to which league? Do you all have like unset boundaries?
Yeah,
or-
we have boundaries.
Okay.
We have boundaries as far as Magnolia. There are other leagues, so depending on where you live, that's where you go.
Okay. Well, I think this is great. The more kids that we have involved. One of the questions I had for you was the girls. Okay, I know girls are allowed to play with the boys. That's
Yes.
correct. Now, are they allowed to play all the way through, or is there a certain?
Yes, actually, well, Joaquin will tell you that part, but yeah, we actually have baseball and softball for the girls, and the only reason I said Joaquin is because his sister actually finished all the way playing baseball, because
Okay.
So
Well, yeah, I mean that's a baseball family right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
They're legends.
right. So yeah, but most of the girls, they
like, yeah,
usually,
it
yeah, we actually got a couple of girls. Yeah, we actually have a couple of girls that are, from some of the leagues that are actually like 12 years old and they're really good, but the majority go to softball. Except the ones that are really good, like his sister. They stay in baseball.
You know what? I forgot to mention, Joaquin was the first of his class at Austin High School when he graduated. So not only is he good looking, he's smart and he's active in the community.
You trying to get him a date now or what?
And he's single.
Anything? Oh, pa acabarlo. No, the best part is that he's a good dad. I've known him. Joaquin and I have known each other since 96, 95, 96. I put 94, 95. A long time. And I commend you. You do some
Yes,
great
see,
things.
I used to be his coach when he was little, and even then.
So you tell him everything he knows.
No, not everything. And actually, his parents, that's what we say. The parents were real involved with him in sports, and that basically helped him and all his family go through. I know his parents. Since they were, when I met his parents, I would go and he was, who are you picking up my son to play? And I said, and after that, I wound up picking up his whole family to go play baseball, basketball, everything. And, you knew then that because of sports and because of his parents, he was going to be successful. Even since he was little, he talked about going to university and all that. So, and he did. And being what he's doing now, he used to do that when he was little with his brothers and sisters.
Wow.
So, and when that's just one story. I know the man said, what kind of success stories? We have a whole bunch of them.
yeah,
I'm
You
just
know, a whole
curious,
bunch
do
of
any of your brothers and sisters still play, or are they already too old?
Their
to
kids
play?
do.
yeah, they're too
They're
old.
still- they're-
Yeah,
but-
brothers and sisters are old. The youngest one is 29. He actually serves in the military now. But we did grow up. I grew up in a big family of 12. So going back to the question, as far as how affordable can it be, I know that my dad was actually on payment plans in order to get us involved in Little League. And I think at that time the fee was probably about $40 each kid. So definitely the will and the want for parents to want their kids to be successful is there in the neighborhood. But now, where I have my son, and been coaching him since he was 3. I think I definitely invest a lot in him, and that's because in return, I know he's going to invest a lot more into his community, and that's my overall goal with him.
And that's what you were taught.
Yes, definitely.
I guess that's what we keep hoping for. The more we practice, the better our community's going to get, right?
Definitely.
So let's do this. Let's take a real quick break. Let's take a little breather, and we're going to be right back. You're watching Latino Talk TV. We'll be right back after a quick break. I just said that, but we'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching Latino Talk TV. We're still live here in Houston Media Source. So now we're going to talk about, we got some new guests that are going to talk about some of the good work that they do in the community, along with something that we were talking about earlier last week about how there's a myth out there that some say that Latinos just don't volunteer. And we're here to dispel that myth, because the fact is there's so many organizations and businesses and individuals that give back to the community, just like before, right, Ben? I mean, we had Joaquin that gives back, all the volunteers. Arturo does too.
For the Little Leagues.
The Little Leagues. And also now we're going to talk about grants, right? So we're going to bring
Here's our
first
expert
guest.
right here.
So if we can go wide here. Mona, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So please introduce yourself and what you do and all that good stuff.
My name is Mona Pohan. I'm the executive director of Built for Success, and basically we look for funds for nonprofits or businesses that are for profit.
Okay.
If they need any kind of loans or any kind of advice on how to write a business plan.
Okay.
You know, one thing that we lack in the nonprofit world in our community is the expertise on how to apply for loans or grants. And I tell you, I've met Mona, and she has done some great work for some great organizations that you might know. You want to mention some of your clients?
Yes, I would.
Let me guess, NHPO?
No, not yet.
No. Okay.
No, I write for, several public schools, several churches here in the Houston area, and a lot of little nonprofits that really have a great mission, and they really try so hard. But they don't get the recognition because actually a lot of them are competing with the extremely huge nonprofits that have the name brand, and they need the advertisement, and because they really are making a difference in the community.
So what are some of the first steps, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but what are some of the first steps that a nonprofit should take to prepare themselves to compete in that game?
I think that they need to really sit down and evaluate what they want to plan for the year and how they want to implement their programs, and basically how are they really going to stand out in the community. I mean, are they, because there's so many there's so many nonprofits that are quite similar, but what is something different that they're going to do? I mean, how else are they going to impact the community? How else are they going to make a difference? I think that's most important.
As you know, most Latino nonprofits are low-budget organizations. And I will say that it was an eye-opening experience in talking to her and learning about the process of how to apply for a grant. There's a lot of things that grant writers know that the normal person on the board doesn't know. And so she knows how to put the verbiage that is necessary to get these grants.
So it's really just keywords?
No, it's not. No. I mean, it's not just keywords, but it's also like, how can you truly make an impact and make a difference for the children and families of each community? I think that's very important. And I think that for each nonprofit, are they really implementing it and making an evaluation of it and being able to measure it at the end of the year?
For our viewers, why don't you tell some of the nonprofit board members that are listening what type of funds are out there that you know of, and what type of organizations would benefit?
Right now, Houston Endowment has a $6 million education grant, which it's very interesting because they want something that's innovative, not just the same regular everything every year every organization has done. They want it to be, are you really going to help the kids increase their test scores? Is it really going to impact the parents? How are the parents going to be involved in the kids' lives, and how can we make them be a part of their educational process, especially since most of them probably didn't finish high school, so that we want them to be a part of it. So I think that's really interesting. It's kind of a full circle right now.
Okay. So also we brought some more guests. We haven't introduced the rest of the guests here.
I know.
So we want to talk about all the good work that you guys have been doing for the community. So please, we'll start from here and introduce yourself and who you are and what you do.
My name is Brian, and actually, it all comes together at the end because nonprofits work for the community. They don't receive anything back. That's why they're a nonprofit. Also, us as a salon and spa, we're a business. We work for the community. We try to make our living, but also we give back to the community because they give us business. So we have to give something back. At the beginning of each, school cycle, let's say beginning January, early August, there's always kids that are going back to school. They've been for a break, they haven't been attended to very much. So they need haircuts. And that's what these ladies are here to talk to us about. the haircuts that they give back, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Jackie, and actually I'm one of the nail technicians from the nail salon, and these also two girls are the stylists.
Okay, and I'm Zara, and I'm a makeup artist, hairstylist, and I do everything about the beauty.
And I'm Shala. I'm one of the makeup artists and hairstylists as well. So we welcome everybody. Just want to say that the beauty is not only for ladies, it's for men as well. So you can
Hit.
That's for you.
Hit.
I look good, brother. I look good.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's always, they seem like it's always like, like a woman kind of thing that it's, a habit. But for real, it's it's really for everybody because there's no shame for a guy to actually be groomed and let them know that they're also, be sure to be pampered and
I think we need to get our nails done.
No, you need
I mean,
Well, you don't have to get your nails
I
done.
think it's a myth that men don't have to get a
Yeah.
pedicure, Manny. I think you should. I think it's very
It
relaxing.
costs too much money.
It does not cost a lot of money.
No, it's not
Now
that
you're
much
gonna have the man
money.
talk. I don't want to spend money on that.
your
Good thing my
woman
wife's
would be
not watching.
Well,
like,
see, I like to get myself groomed because, they look at me. When they see me, if they see me with my long hair down here all trashy, my eyebrows extremely bushy, getting the unibrow on there, I'm not going to get
why
that
you gotta
many
talk about
girls.
your I think that's
around.
the first
I want an appearance that's going to appeal to people.
So how have you impacted? What kind of feelings have you had when you give away those free, once a year when you guys get together and you help the community? How do you feel after you do something like that?
oh, we feel grateful, I mean, people just come through and thank us, what we do and everything, what we give. We try to give the best for every.
Also, a lot of girls want to go to prom, and
Yeah.
and what they provide is also the dresses and the nails and the hair for that day, and that is actually, a benefit for a lot of young girls to want to feel pretty for that day. Prom is very special.
What's the name of the salon?
Changing Style Salon and Spa.
Change
Okay.
the sounds. So how can an organization? I'm sorry, no,
Go ahead.
How can an organization qualify, or how can they get in touch with you to see if they can make something like that happen for their community? Because the benefit is that people are out there are watching you, and what we want to do is introduce them to these programs that are out there that businesses like yourself do. There's different things that are going on. So how can they get in touch with you?
Well, if people, we usually work in the Katy area. We're located in Katy, so we don't have very much access to the entire Houston area. Like you say, if they want to get in touch with us and have us, go over there and do the haircuts, they can contact us. We have a website. It's changing-styles.com, and we also have our phone number.
It's man,
You don't
I'm
know your
gonna
phone
forget it.
Okay, you'll do the website.
We just started a couple
Yeah,
of
you
months
can
ago.
search us
We're-
into Facebook, Twitter, we have all.
So changing dash.
Changing-styles.com. You find the phone number on there. You find
location.
you found the Facebook on there.
This is
On that
pretty much
website,
all
they'll
our
be able to
work.
get in touch with you. So if there's an organization that needs, maybe they can partner up and do some of
Yes.
those things together.
Yes.
They could do
Yes,
that.
yes.
I
They can
think
email.
Brian is a natural for TV.
Yes, he is.
He is. Yeah,
You look
I
good
would
on
agree.
TV, man. You look good.
I sure do, right? Especially with the grooming.
There you go. Right?
That unibrow,
Am I right?
that looks great.
No unibrow on there.
So which one is going to go first right now?
Oh, I like
Yes.
You guys want to do your?
All right, Jose.
I think we should. I think Zara's going to show you how
I'm
it only
okay.
takes 5 minutes.
Pretty quick.
I think it's bed.
Just
don't cry.
How much time do we have left?
We have
I think I
time.
gotta
We're
get
out of
home.
time
It
already.
takes 5 minutes.
No, but in all seriousness, helping the community in that way. There's a lot of businesses that are watching. If you're a business owner that's out there, give back. You probably already do, but there's so much more benefit, right?
I think when you feel good and you feel like you're pretty that day, you walk better, and you have a better self-confidence about yourself.
Yes.
So I think that's very important.
You accomplish things better. And also, being a business, the community is what helps you. They give you your business. So
It's
giving
time.
back is not a lot. It's more that you receive than what you're giving back. So giving back a little bit is not that much, In reality, it all piles up.
So you need to tell that to the Papa John's owner that's out there.
They have coupons online. You haven't seen. They give back a little bit. The coupons. They have the
don't wanna do no
coupons.
healthcare. I'm gonna start dogging on Papa John's. Just kidding. Anything else?
Hey, speaking of Papa John's, my son works for Papa John's.
Oh, okay. I'll leave him alone. All right.
It's great pizza.
I'm just kidding,
It
but
is.
thank you so much for helping the community like that, and for those that are out there that can't afford those things when you guys do that once a year, or what, once a year, twice a year?
It's well, you know, it's 3 times a year, and also it's when we get organizations that call us and, you know, hey, we need we have this event coming up. There's gonna be a lot of kids there. You wanna reach out to these families, and okay, yeah, we go ahead and do it. It depends. Usually it's 3 times a year, but
I want to ask Mona a little bit more about the grant writing. Now, usually these grants are posted online. How does one find these grants? Is there like a specific website where you find these grants?
Well, they can go to our website. It's builtforsuccessinc.org, and I post every week all the available grants that are open and which organization is funding, and, you know, when the deadlines are. And if they have to, they could go to the public library downtown, and they can get a lot of information there as well.
So they can get access, they can find all the grants that are out there on your website. What's it again?
It's builtforsuccessinc.org.
Builtforsuccessinc.org. Okay, we got it on the website.
I'm just curious, is there any grants for Little League baseball teams?
Yes, but it would be under more as wellness and obesity and why it's important to stay fit as a family. I think that's something that the parents are all sitting back there, but guess what? They can be a part of it as well, especially when we're dealing with a lot of the healthcare issues and stuff like that.
So is there grants available today for something like that, or is that something that comes every so often?
No, I posted one today for a health initiative. And if it's for baseball or Little League, I think you can look in my website and you will find it there. The angle is more about health and family and being together. So
There you go. It's
look at it
about-
that way.
It's packaging.
It is. You have to think about it. You know, most of the parents are just sitting there. Why not be a part of it? Get involved. And it's actually you're moving. You know, the more you move, it's better for your health, I think.
And how big are these, and what range
I mean,
dollars?
If you're just beginning to really start, you're gonna, you know, apply. You're not gonna get the first million. I mean, start.
$25 million
25.
grant?
No.
Out of the question.
It's gonna be like 2,500 to 5,000 to 10 to 15. But as you know land some, you'll have increments, and then you'll get more. That's what you can do. Are you?
And so do you have to be a C3 or
You do have to be,
C4?
yes.
Okay.
I mean, we can also help you with that as well. We can help you apply for your 501c3 and get all your non-profit packaged together so that we can send it off to the IRS.
So she's the nonprofit guru right here.
Okay, well, that's why you're here. And we're gonna have to bring you back again, because the biggest thing that I got out of it is, okay, but if you're a nonprofit, you have to be innovative. The same old thing can't be done over and over again. If you want to get new money, you have to come up with new ideas, right?
Well, you have to also think there's a lot of nonprofits actually doing the same thing. What makes you different? What makes you stand out? How are you really impacting that community? That's the most important thing.
Like our show. Who else is doing a Spanish, or not Spanish, English 1 hour? I think in Spanish.
we could talk in Spanish.
Yeah, vámonos.
Hola, buenos días.
No, but that's the beauty of what we do, you know, and thank you so much, and thank y'all for what y'all do for the community.
No, thank you for having us on here.
Yes.
And by the way, he's next.
Yes.
Okay.
Who got Stingy in the brown?
Okay, anything else? Closing remarks?
We're good.
Okay, well, on that, you are watching Latino Talk TV. Join us again next week and be here. We're going to be here live at Houston Media Source. Thank you for taking the time out of your schedule. And actually, Joseph, watch. Thank you for watching also. And with that, have a great night and enjoy your evening. Goodbye.
Thank you.